Hello, welcome back to the Kayla Ambrose Show. I'm your host and your travel guide. To the other side, as I say, Kayla Ambrose. And I'm here as always to talk about psychic things and the aura and colors and chakras and oh my gosh, all the things that I love to talk about. Metaphysical, spiritual, how color affects you, even with interior design. And my latest project, which is jewelry design, creating journey bracelets with my bestie, Nikki Case. Nikki,
Hello.
hey, we're here back again. Did you miss us? It's been a whole week since our last podcast. If you're not registered and signed up yet for it, go ahead and do that on wherever you like getting your podcast, Spotify, iTunes. We're on all the things. Google, pick the one you like, and you'll get the updates. We put out a new podcast every Sunday about journey bracelets, journeys, what they mean, what's going on here. And so any bracelet you're interested in on the website, lavishgoods.com. Eventually, there'll be a podcast attached to every one, and you can listen to the podcast there as well while you shop. Because we're trying to explain journeys and what it's about, what a journey bracelet is. And Nikki, how do you want to define a journey bracelet today?
To me, a journey bracelet is a tangible, visible, energetic support system. It's something that you wear on your body, and so you have these gemstones and crystals that are within your energetic field, and those gemstones placed in a certain order and in a certain combination are going to support you on whatever journey you happen to be going on.
And that's what we wanted to do, was to create something that you could wear every day and you would connect with it. You would have it on your wrist, so it's close to your chakra there. The pulse point is very important at the wrist, as well as the chakra in the palm. And as you wear this bracelet, it interacts with you and your aura and puts that energy and that intention, all of it, swirls it into the aura to help you manifest it, whether it's something you're trying to achieve or visualize or do or be better at, whatever the goal is. And so there's a journey for almost everything. And if there's not a journey on there that you see you want, you can also do a custom design where we meet and talk about what exactly it is. And then we custom design each stack in the bracelet with stones that are going to help you create and stimulate that energy as well. So whatever it is you're looking for, we got you covered.
I'd like to
Today,
interject too, Kayla, just because I think that to me, that custom is so what's to me is really special about that is not only do we work with the person, with what stones like we think would work with them and what do they like and what are they drawn to, but you also are tuning into that person. Like you are energetically tuning in and getting a sense, with your abilities and gifts of, being able to see auras and tuning into a person and their energy. So I just want to make sure people understand it's more than just like, oh, I'd like to hand pick this one and put this one and this one. Like you are really tuning in there, and it really is a very special option for people if they're interested in that.
thank you for mentioning that. I forget because it's just what I do.
It's just you, it's like who you are, but I mean it is a really special amazing opportunity for people because it's almost, I mean, I hope I'm not stepping out of bounds by saying this, but it's almost like a little mini psychic reading. Like you're really, you are tuning into them, and that's why it is so customized, because it really is all about the customer for that one.
Definitely is. I'm reading them and reading their aura and looking at the colors in the aura and seeing what colors they need to balance out certain of parts of their chakras. It is a whole scanning the mind, body, and spirit, and psychically reading it as well to see what they need. So it is definitely a bespoke type of you know offering there for sure. Today, we're going to talk about a bracelet Nick and I both love a lot, and it's called Earth Angel. And maybe you've heard this phrase used before. Empaths talk about it a lot. Empaths feel the energy of others on all levels. I'm an empath, so I understand that. That's what I didn't understand when I was a young girl and was trying to figure that out. What does that mean? Why I feel everyone else's emotions and I don't know what to do with them. And so we created this bracelet, Earth Angel, to help people, especially empaths, people with psychic ability, that are intuitive, to be able to create an energy field around them that's going to support them with that work and support what they do. And what we found with this, which is so interesting, is many people are empathic and don't know it. And other people just, have a strong sense of empathy, and it's just as helpful for them as well. So a lot of caregivers are drawn to this bracelet, a lot of nurses, a lot of people that are therapists, any type of nurturing type of work, they're really drawn to this bracelet. So if you know someone like that, or if this is describing you, this is a bracelet you want to take a look at. It's specifically designed with the stones used to create that energy field swirling in these colors around your aura, which enhance your abilities, but also give you a little bit of a protective buffer, is what I call that. And I say that being an empath myself, where it's so easy to pick up everybody else's stuff. And then you got to stop and go, okay, wait a minute. Is this my stuff? Why? I'll catch myself so often with that. Like, why am I feeling sad or tense all of a sudden? And I realized, oh my gosh, it was because I just talked to that person and they were, and it's in me. I picked it up. So you have to let it go now. You have to, release it. When you're wearing this bracelet, it really helps create a buffer there where it doesn't come into your auric field as easily. And that's really helpful for a lot of things. At the same time, it's fine tuning your abilities. So you're still going to get all the information that you're looking for as a nurturing type of person from the person so you can help them. It has a side effect too, I found, that when you're wearing it, that field radiates out through your aura and then out into the room around you. So if you're a therapist, a nurse, any type of nurturing job, career like that, it helps the other people as well. It helps them relax and open up and get in touch with their emotions as well. So it does double duty in that way, which I think is fascinating. And so, Nick, tell us about, we're going to go, oh, we love this stone. And we
Mhm.
laugh and say that all the time. But when we found unicorn, we both were so excited. I didn't know unicorn before. And so tell us about unicorn.
Yeah, and I didn't know unicorn either. And it's like a unicorn, right? Um, Unicorn biologically it's actually a combination of several different crystals. It's lepidolite, pink tourmaline, smoky quartz, sometimes also has some clear quartz in there, sometimes also has something called Clevelandite. I don't talk about that one much because most people haven't heard of it. It's not very common at all, but it is primarily that lepidolite, pink tourmaline, and smoky quartz, and it's just this. It's again, aesthetically, it's just so darn pretty. Especially I love, lepidolite tends to have sort of a purplish color, whereas pink tourmaline is a little more pink. And so you get that beautiful combination of those colors in this. And then of course, energetically, it's truly pulling in the energetic properties of all of those stones. Which is just, rather than having to wear like three or four different ones all together to get this, particular type of energetic support, there it is in unicorn. And it's a relatively new stone, not new geologically, new as far as being known. And it was in the 21st century that it was found. And which I'm sure I would love to hear you talk about that too, about like, we certainly believe things happen when and, for a reason and at a particular time. So I'm curious as to, why this stone was found when it was, it wasn't found hundreds or thousands of years ago. It's relatively new. But yeah, I love that we found this and that we use it in this stack.
I think there are things hidden like that all around the earth. And Gosh, we could say in different planes of existence. Like we see things and the eye can fool us into seeing things as well. And we see things that we know of, so we see them. And I talk about this when I teach wisdom classes a lot, going back in history, like when Cortez and his men were on the ships and they were coming into Central America and all, and going up and down the coast. And the natives could not see the ships they were in because they had never seen ships that large. So they could only see the men as they got closer to shore when they were in like a rowboat. And then they would see these men and say, "Where did you come from?" In this tiny boat. And they would point to their ship and they're like, "We don't see what you're talking about." And so there's something right in front of our faces. But if you've never seen it before, you don't believe it exists. So they had to take some of the natives out on the rowboat, bring them to the big ships. I mean, we're talking about those giant wood ships with all the sails and holding, 100 men or whatever. And once they got them on the boat and they could feel it and see it, they're like, oh, and then as enough of them did and went back, it kind of came into the group consciousness, and then everyone could see the boats. That's fascinating to me. And I know there's some scientific study as well. I don't remember all the details, but I read somewhere for a long time, we couldn't see the color blue. And I don't remember all the details with that, but it was said early in mankind's history, we did not see the color blue or all the hues of it. It took us much later in our evolution where we began to see the blues. And someone, you can Google this. I know it's been out for a while, but it's there. We just didn't see it. We didn't see germs. We got a microscope, right? So many different things like that. So I believe that there are things like fairies and mermaids and unicorns and all those types of things, but they're on a different wavelength, I'll call it, which might be how I describe like a different plane of existence. And sometimes they lower their energy or raise their energy where they drop right into our wavelength so we see them clearly. Other times you see them like that flutter in your eye, just like if you think you've seen a ghost or a spirit or something, different wavelength, speed of movement, speed of light, whatever you want to call that. And so they can drop down into our wavelength when they want. And my belief on the unicorn stone here is, yeah, they said they discovered it in Madagascar in the 21st century. So I think it's unveiled itself. It's changed its wavelength, whatever you want to call that. It's revealed itself that we're now in a point in humanity that it is acceptable for us to work with the stone. And we had to get there consciously. And enough of us have leveled up consciously enough to work with the stone. So even when I first saw unicorn, I got so excited. And the color to me is just gorgeous. But coming to thoughts with all of that now makes me like, I want to wear unicorn every day because I earned it. I leveled up with the rest of us here to wear unicorn where it appeared to us and is showing itself to us.
Yeah,
That's
I agree. And as I said, we certainly believe that we experience things, we see things, things are revealed to us, in their right time. And so the fact that we found this when we did, it was like, okay, this is special. We absolutely need to be using this. And again, I know I say this a lot, but it's this beautiful stone, and energetically it's so supportive, and it's just, with that lepidolite is so calming. Lepidolite is one of my favorites. So that was another reason I was so excited when we found this, because that is a big part of what unicorn is made of. It's just so special.
it really is. And then we added aquamarine, another stone we love. And we talked about this recently in another podcast because it's in Atlantis Explorer, and aquamarine's here again, which really is helping with emotions as well. So this is a highly attuned bow stones working in that way with the aquamarine. And is there anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I love the individually unicorn and aquamarine are fantastic at supporting empaths, or as as you already talked about, like helping sort of discern, is this mine, is it somebody else's, speaking energy that you're taking on. And then when you put those two together, it's like, to me, this is one of those perfect examples of, this is why we do what we do, where it's not just the individual stones, it's how they work together so well. And these two are just so complementary to each other in the things that they do together and then individually. And I really, to me, this is a exceptionally magical stack and journey, just because of all the support that it provides.
I agree. And they weren't two stones that you would look at maybe individually and go, oh, those two need to be side by side. But when they're together in this bracelet, something happens. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I actually remember when because you pulled those two and put them together. And I remember just like visually looking, I was like, really? And first of all, let me say, I trust Kayla implicitly when it comes to anything that's related to like like to the aesthetic, right? Because you do interior design and like you're just you know what you're doing. And so it wasn't that I didn't believe you or trust you, but I was just like, really? Like that's interesting. But as soon as you put them together, it was like, oh yeah, like Shazam. That is it for sure.
And so in the center, we anchored it with a cuff with blue howlite with a white crystal druzy. And tell us about that howlite and what it does and the druzy.
Yeah, howlite is a great stone of communication. It's also very calming. So again, we're adding to that sort of calming energy with this, and not calming necessarily in the sense of like, oh, I want to lay down and take a little nap. It's more calming of if you are an empath, or even if you don't necessarily identify as one, but you might very well be if you're drawn to this, where when you're picking up on the energy around you, whether it's an individual or the collective, it can feel very chaotic. I think and you already said this, I think there are a lot of people who are empathic and they don't even know it. They don't know that they're empaths. I think, if you're someone where you're out in public at the store, or just, around large groups of people, and you feel overwhelmed by that energy, like there's a good chance you're an empath, because you're experiencing other people's energy, and not everyone feels that. And so the howlite here just is adding another layer of that calm to help that energetic chaos that tends to be, if you're around people ever in this world, there can be energetic chaos, and it's just another layer of that calm. And then the blue, of course, is I associate that with the heart, or I'm sorry, with the throat chakra, which is you know, all about communication. And so it's helping you speak clearly to, the communication that's coming to you, whether it's audible or however you might receive information, that it's more clear, and you're able to discern.
Yeah, it really is. And I think, we have that druzy with it, which is such a symbol of the divine feminine, calling in that energy there. And we replicated the stones on the same sides, the unicorn and the aquamarine. Again, going back to that ancient axiom, as above, so below. And even the name of this bracelet, Earth Angel, as
Mhm.
above, so below. So the bracelet itself is calling forth for you to reach out and activate with your higher self, your best self, your highest part of you that's the most full of grace and love and compassion and healing and kindness, right? Your angelic part, bringing it down here to earth and transmuting that energy through you. So it really is also magical in that way, that it's moving that energy from the higher realms and bringing it down through you. So as it comes through your aura and then into your body, into your arms, your wrist, connecting with these stones out through the hand, as you reach out, as you touch someone, as you wave, as you hold a pen, as you type on a computer, as you text on a phone, that energy is coming through your hands and being directed in all those ways, physical touch, technologically, whichever way you're doing it. Through your hands, you are communicating and giving that energy. And so when you're wearing Earth Angel, you're aspiring to bring the highest, best part of you and deliver it through all of that type of communication. And that's something we all should aspire to, I think anyway, on a good day. We can't be good all the time, but we should at least try once a day. And so Earth Angel is that axiom, as above, so below, and putting that into action. And that's what I love about it the most. How about you, Nick? What does Earth Angel do for you?
Yeah, and I love that. It's funny when, I'm obviously familiar with as above, so below, as within, so without. And I see that visually on the bracelet. It did not even click in my head until you said it, Earth Angel, that it's there as well. And I love that. I think that's so beautiful. Um, for me, this bracelet is all about the calm. Because I am someone that I can get, when it doesn't even have to be a big group. If it's just, a number of people and there's just a lot going on energetically, like that can really affect me and it can really drain me. And sometimes it could only be one person, and they have very chaotic energy, or they're just very pulling that energy from you. Excuse me. And I just, so for me, this is really about calming that chaos, and even, my own internal mental chaos that could be going on sometimes when, I'm someone who I can get stuck in my head sometimes and, start to spin a little bit. And for me, this bracelet is really good for that as well, where it's just, that calming effect of the unicorn and the aquamarine together. And it's just soothing and calming. And I know I keep using those words, but that's just what it's all about for me. And that energy just very gently moving around me and in my aura, in a very calm way, not a chaotic way.
And you've done a lot of work and study with that. I, should tell those of you that don't know, with Nikki, not only is she a geologist by day, she's a yoga teacher by night. Superhero both. She's certified in breath work. She, has taught meditation and yoga and breath work, and lives all of that. And so we really work to create these formulas based on both of our expertises, her seeing all that as well as being a geologist and, studying stones her whole life. Me with my psychic abilities and auric abilities and Mr. School teaching wisdom and things. We cobble all of that together and put this into every formula. So you're going to get something that is transformational, something that you're going to feel the energy, and it's going to react with you. And it is visually appealing, like Nikki said, about our bracelets. But they are full of energy. They are full of vitality. You feel it. And even though we described this bracelet and another one earlier, we talked about as both calm bracelets, you're going to feel that too. You're going to feel, instead of like not amped up energy, you're going to like, like a spa type of feeling.
Yeah, that's
And
a really good point that when we say calming doesn't mean no energy, right? It doesn't mean you're going to put it on and be like, I got nothing. It's just a very different energy than some of the other journey bracelets that you may put on, or different stones that you may work with. It's just a very calming energy. I like that, like a spa.
yep, who doesn't want a day at the spa?
I want one. I want one.
Right? Sounds amazing. So we're so pleased that so many of you are joining us here for the podcast and that you're liking them. And we appreciate hearing from you. If you want to ask any questions, we're going to do a Q&A on one of these podcasts. So, feel free to write in with any questions you'd like. Our website is lavishgoods.com, where you can find all the Journey bracelets as well as Journey for Men. And you can see our new spring collection. We're working on having a podcast for every single bracelet on there. If you click on the different bracelets, you'll see in the text there, it'll say if we already have one of the podcasts done where you can listen to. about it. Of course, you can also listen to podcasts wherever you enjoy it, Spotify, Google, iTunes. Just look for the Kayla Ambrose Show and you'll find all these episodes on there. Join our Facebook group. We have a vibe tribe on there where we talk about journey bracelets and people that are collecting them. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube. We have a video, some videos on there when we do live shows talking about that, and you can see the bracelets, brought up close on camera. If you want to see some of those details, it's a good way to see it too. And I think that's it. Nikki, what would you like to add? Anything before we close today?
I would like to encourage people to send in any questions that they might have, or anything. And it doesn't even have to be about a specific journey bracelet. It could be about a crystal or a gemstone, because I think people know by now we like to talk about such things. So, I'm excited about doing a Q&A episode. So send in your questions.
There we go. All right. Well, another podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again soon.
Bye-bye.